Yashodanandana Brajadana Yashodanandana Brajadana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gaura Pindi Jai Mishupad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajgacharya Stotra Satta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Sri Bhai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindaki, Skandiviti, Founder Charyas, Divine Grace, the Prabhupada ki, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Samavata Bhakta Vrindaki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Dainita Gaura Pimanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Takshurunmritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savrutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sacham Hai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suchidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyayavasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is ever a means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the Supremest Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayashabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Pranam Brahmasamitam Itamashloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nisreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, is Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vatalam pangum langayate girim yat kripat mahabande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yat kripat mahabande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. Today we are continuing first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 5. Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam. And we are reading today 21, text 21. Tvam atmanat manam avehi amogha drik parasya pumsah paramatmanaha kalam ajam prajatam jagataha shivaya tan mahanubhava vyudayo diganyatam. Yeah. Tvam atmanatmanam aveyamogadrik parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhava vyudayo diganyatam. Tvamatmanatmanam aveyamogadhrik parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhava buddhayo diganyatam. Tvamatmanatmanam aveyamogadrik parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhava vyudayo diganyatam. Tvamatmanatmanam aveyamogadrik parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan mahanubhava vyudayo diganyatam. Tvamatmanatmanam aveyamogadrik. Parasya pumsa paramatmana kalam. Ajam prajatam jagata shivayatan. Mahanubhava vyudayo diganyatam. Tvam yourself atmana by your own self atmanam the super soul avehi search out amogadrik one who has a perfect vision prasya of the transcendence pumsaha the personality of Godhead paramatmanaha of the Supreme Lord kalam plenary part ajam birthless prajatam have taken birth jagataha of the world Shivaya for the well-being tat that maha anubhava of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna abhyudayaha pastimes adhiganyatam describe most vividly some words are tricky sometimes. Translation purport, welcome. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the super soul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please therefore describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. Kind of repeat after me. Your goodness has a perfect vision. You yourself can know the super soul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please therefore describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. Purport. Srila Vyasadeva is the empowered plenary portion, incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. He descended by his causeless mercy to deliver the fallen souls in the material world. The fallen and forgotten souls are detached from the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord, and they are eternally servitors of the Lord. All the Vedic literatures, therefore, are put into systematic order for the benefit of the fallen souls. That word systematic is coming up. Therefore, all the Vedic literatures, therefore, are put into systematic order for the benefit of the fallen souls. And it is the duty of the fallen souls to take advantage of such literatures and be freed from the bondage of material existence. Although formally Srila Narada Rishi is his spiritual master, Srila Vyasadeva is not at all dependent on the spiritual master because in essence he is the spiritual master of everyone. But because he is doing the work of an acharya, he has taught us by his own conduct that one must have a spiritual master, even though he be God himself. Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sridham, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all incarnations of Godhead, accepted formal spiritual masters, although by their transcendental nature they were cognizant of all knowledge in order to direct people in general to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. He himself, in the incarnation of Vyasadeva, is delineating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Translation again to text 21. Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the supersoul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. So it is not that Srila Vyasadeva did not know about Krishna. It was earlier explained that he was feeling somewhat morose, not fully satisfied after putting into writing all of the Vedic knowledge. And as described, initially he could not understand why it was so, why he was feeling morose. And then he suspected actually, and then it was confirmed by his spiritual master, Sri Narada Muni, that he needed to more elaborately, here it says more vividly, describe the directly describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So in the purport, Prabhupada makes a very important point. We were touching on that yesterday at the end of the class, how the Vedic literatures are all presented in a very methodical and systematic manner. quite some years back, actually, our devotees, some of our devotees who were in Vrindavan, they began to have this realization that the Srimad Bhagavatam is presented very systematically. And they started to actually give classes and courses, and devotees like Burijan Prabhu, still in Vrindavan, I believe Danodar Maharaj and a few devotees, they were the two main persons actually. They started giving what is now within our society has developed as different courses that we're following as desired by Srila Prabhupada. Also, Prabhupada wanted that we systematically learn these transcendental literatures. And it was Srila Prabhupada himself who spoke about Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, as different levels of gradual, more in-depth understanding of the subject matter. So this is something very important that that we need to introduce more and more, so that devotees can become simultaneously, we could say, qualified and certified by Prabhupada wanted that devotees, just like when someone goes to university, he learns under learned professors, and then at some point he becomes recognized or certified, and then he can also become a teacher. He can start teaching this knowledge. So what is also important is that this is touched upon in different places also, and it's an area which maybe I would say less understood by a number of devotees. Maybe I would say less understood by too many of our devotees. That the emphasis here, of course, is this is what Narada Muni is instructing to Srila Vyasadeva, that although he is an incarnation, he is described as the literary incarnation of Godhead. He has already the knowledge, but he is taking guidance. That's also mentioned in the purport, he's accepting a spiritual master because that is the standard and recommended process. So before I forget it, the point I wanted to make was that not only are we meant, although the emphasis is on this here, not only are we meant to learn about and increase more and more our understanding, our realization, our appreciation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. But at one point, actually, Parikshit Maharaj, he will ask Shukadeva Goswami to describe how this material cosmic manifestation is manifest. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada is pointing out, why is it that Parikshit Maharaj, he has been cursed to leave his body. He's been cursed to die in 7 days. So one may think, why is he bothering to know about the cosmic world? Why is he asking questions about the material world? As devotees, we think, yeah, just like this instruction also, we should just be preoccupied about the spiritual world. Of course, that is our ultimate preoccupation. But in the purport to that verse, we'll probably come across it. Chapter 5, we might have already passed it. So Prabhupada explains that actually for the pure devotee, like Parikshit Maharaj, for him, he's also eager to understand and to know more about how Krishna, we could say, does his magic in the material world. In other words, the whole Krishna, he is known as, he is the source of all energies. It's one of the tattvas that is nicely explained in the by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Dasamula Tattva. Dasamula Tattva, 10 tattvas, 10 realities, 10 subject matters, and one of them actually pertains to Shaktiman. Shaktiman is the expression, yeah. Shaktiman, Krishna is the source of all energies. Not only is he the source of all spiritual energies, but he's also the source of all material energies. So the whole cosmic manifestation, in that sense, is also spiritual. It actually becomes spiritual when we connected with Krishna, and it becomes material, and therefore Maya, when we disconnected with Krishna, isn't it? So for the pure devotee, he sees Krishna everywhere. He sees Krishna as in material energy, and so this is also an important aspect that we tend to forget at times, that we should not be neglectful of that whole dimension of Krishna. In other words, Krishna is fully present in his material energy, isn't it? I mean, Sarvasya chaham ridi sanivisto matasmitir jnanam apohanam cha. He is present in the heart not only of all living entities, but he's present within each and every atom. He's all pervading. He's omnipresent, isn't it? And because he's omnipresent, therefore he understands everything that is going on. So, so the point being that actually, as mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada in the purport, there is the whole Vedic literature, the whole Vedic culture, and the Shastras are presented very systematically for us to understand both, and that's what Vedic education is actually all about. Actually, Vedic education, I would say, is very confidential education, because in modern day society, we don't know about Vedic education. In modern day society, even ourselves as devotees, to a large extent, we're not applying Vedic education. Because Vedic education is meant to be studied. If we look at Gurukul, we're trying to establish Gurukul here. So Gurukul is based on what is called Chatur Dasa Vidya. Chatur Dasa. Dasa means 10, Chatur means 4. 10 plus 4 means 14. 14 standard books of knowledge makes up Vedic traditional education. Who is teaching that? Of course, some may say, well, it's not practical. So, but actually, that standard knowledge, if we want to systematically, and Prabhupada was quite clear on wanting us to systematically spread Krishna consciousness, introduce this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So, in other words, both for the study of both the spiritual science and the material sciences, because brahmanas, this we tend to forget also, brahmanas are not meant only to study spiritual sciences. Ayurveda, the science of medicine, is a material science, and it's part of the Vedas. It's part of Vedic teaching, Vedic knowledge. And, Prabhupada gave a lot of importance and emphasis on keeping good health. As a matter of fact, Prabhupada considered that as, we could say, the top priority. Unless we are healthy, we cannot do our devotional service. We all know Prabhupada would always sign, hoping this keeps you in good health, So Vedic knowledge, both spiritual subject matters as well as material subject matters, as revealed in the Shastra. That's why the Vedas are so important and absolutely, we could say, essential. See, unless somebody, there's so many scriptures, huh? The Bible is there, the Quran is there. But one can only come to know about Krishna through the Vedic literatures, isn't it? Because it's only like in the Bhagavad Gita, and of course Srimad Bhagavatam, and other literatures that one comes to know about Krishna. The word Krishna is not in the Bible. I mean, the concept of God, of course, is in all the scriptures. But, and this is the point which is being made here by Narada Muni, that all of us individually, in this case here, Srila Vyasadeva, will only become fully satisfied and happy, content, the more we know about Krishna, the more we act in relation to serving Krishna. And of course, that's our whole mission. Krishna consciousness means to develop that consciousness, that understanding of Krishna, and our whole life is meant to become focused and centered on that. Which means that actually not only we as individuals, but I mean the whole world also will only become satisfied when when people come in contact, know about Krishna consciousness. And that's basically our entire strategy, our whole purpose as devotees and as a society also is how to present and how to present systematically, scientifically. And that's the whole purpose of the TOVP is actually to Prabhupada wanted Temple of Vedic Planetarium to present the science of Krishna consciousness in terms of how this whole cosmic manifestation is functioning through this planetarium, isn't it? Basically, the fifth canto of the Bhagavatam, which is giving all kinds of details, which initially are not so easy to understand. Fifth canto, Prabhupada said actually, when when the fifth canto was printed, Prabhupada said, when some of my devotees will read this fifth canto, some of them will leave, will abandon Krishna consciousness, because it's beyond our immediate understanding how the planets are rotating and the whole cosmic, you know, manifestation. And we had some very learned devotees, PhD, you know, very intelligent, who had studied like Sadaputta Prabhu, less known today, but he was one of the very brilliant scholars who studied actually other devotees also. Won't get into names, and that was one way in which Srila Prabhupada felt that the those who have good intelligence, they could be attracted by the presentation of the subject matter presented in the Bhagavatam. So I would conclude on this subject matter that we're dealing with today, that within our devotee communities and within our society in general, we are presenting to uh, to to a large extent, yeah, Krishna consciousness systematically in terms of you know, the educational institutions that we have, and that's very much the standing order given by our previous acharyas as well. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we were just celebrating a few days back the 150th anniversary of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and one of the desires of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which he wrote in a specific letter to his son, was to establish here in Mayapur, actually, educational institution for that purpose, to systematically introduce and present Krishna consciousness. So we have a number of courses and subject matters, and Prabhupada gave us the basic, gave the titles, as I mentioned earlier, Bhakti, Shastri, etc. But what we have yet to do and have not ventured in this area is to present the other dimension or the other aspect of the Vedic knowledge, because Vedic knowledge is divided both in Shruti and Smriti, in direct spiritual knowledge and also in material knowledge that is helpful. Yeah. And of course, so that connects with Varnasrama. because Varnashrama is, we could say, that material science of how we are meant to function in the material world, how society is meant to be arranged, and 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 within that culture of Varnashrama, there are subject matters which, although material, are meant to facilitate our, eventually, the end goal and purpose is to facilitate our spiritual growth, our spiritual advancement. Um, Small example, uh, in the context of, Prabhupada translates Varnashrama Dharma as divine culture, where we live in such a way that we are closer to nature, and the mind is more peaceful and more easily able to actually be in the mode of goodness, and therefore when we are more in the mode of goodness, we can more easily take up the process of Krishna consciousness. Again, this is connected with this systematic, very logical and systematic and scientific way of of advancing, yeah, of advancing. We could say both materially and spiritually. Um, in modern day society, we are thinking, modern people are thinking that we have advanced tremendously in the last century, isn't it? It's estimated that there has never been such a large number of scientists who have invented so many things, in the last century or so. There's never been any recorded number of so many scientists. But what is the end result? The end result is that the people in Bangalore today cannot even flush their toilet. That's the end result. Big crisis, which will manifest increasingly. This problem came up actually 2 or 3 years ago in Chennai. There was a big, write-up just a few years back when Chennai, the city of Chennai, one of the biggest cities, one of the 10 largest cities, I believe, in India, ran out of water. People were going crazy, practically. And so, I don't know, they took emergency measures and somehow it was resolved. But at that time, people who studied the situation were predicting that, within the next couple of years, they identified 12 cities, one of them being Bombay. So Bombay today, this was in the news like yesterday and the day before, big news, that, when a whole city doesn't, you're living in a high-rise apartment and you don't have water, or you're living anywhere in the city, but especially in high-rise apartments, and, more and more people are living in high-rise apartments. What happens when there's no water? Well, that's what they're experiencing right now. It's, you can't live, right? So, because we are applying the wrong formulas in modern day society, in wrongly thinking that we are advanced. The modern day cities appear very attractive, with all of their shining uh, buildings. Uh, it seems very attractive, but actually it is a false attraction, just like the material uh, activities of sense gratification are also attractive, but actually it is It is actually the opposite result happens when we become involved on that level. So therefore, uh, this can only be this can only be properly taken up or understood by those who are actually brahmanas. The brahmanas, those who are more brahmanically inclined, are the ones who can really understand about this. This aspect regarding focusing more on Krishna, number one, and secondly, about this other aspect about how to properly uh, see and properly utilize Krishna's energy, material energy, and how these are meant to be uh, combined and properly utilized. So we as devotees and as a society have this dual, we have this dual responsibility to introduce what is called spiritual swadharma, and we also have to introduce material swadharma. And both within both of these is a whole um, it's an entire world in itself. They are both very deep uh, subject matters, both of them being meant to be understood and followed systematically, and both of them being very scientific in nature as well. I will read the text, and if there's any thoughts, we can, yeah. Uh, so, text 21 again. Your goodness has perfect vision. This is Narada Muni speaking to Srila Vyasadeva. You yourself can know the super soul personality of Godhead because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. Oh, okay. Where they work? Where they will work? Or still? Okay. Yeah. Any thoughts?
There is a very interesting name of Krishna in this verse, Moha Anubhava.
Maha Anubhava.
Yeah. And its in the translation is just Shri Krishna. But what does it mean, Moha Anubhava?
Yes.
I saw in the Collins Dictionary that Anubhava means experience.
Experience?
Experience, yeah. And some kind of different synonyms like these. And Maha Anubhava, that means the most experienced
Yeah.
person. And I was thinking why Narada Muni using this specific, not often used name.
Mm.
And I think that is the part of the specific character of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is makes it different or distinct from the other literatures.
Yes,
Because
yes.
most of the literatures describing Krishna's energies
Yes.
and maybe Krishna's present in some situation, but not Krishna personalities.
Yes.
And the Bhagavatam is really focusing on the on the experience of Krishna,
Yes, yes,
which is very unique to know. The Supreme Person is experiencing something that we know that.
yes,
In the 10th canto, we can see that some devotees explaining what Krishna is feeling, what Krishna is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's very specific, I think.
yeah. um, yeah, Bhagavatam is unique. I mean, Krishna consciousness is unique because although, you know, there's so many writings are there, let's say outside of the Vedic writings, and there are so many sadhus, so many spiritualists, so many people speaking about spirituality, but very few actually know the essence, which is that personality, you know. And just to add to this, it's like we know how in the material world also not so easy to know somebody, and most of the problems that people experience are in misunderstandings, you know, in, we could say, failed relationships, because ultimately we are hankering for relationship, isn't it? The original pure relationship actually is with Krishna. um, but the point I'm making is that this is not such an easy thing to establish that relationship with, especially personality like Krishna. Uh, it's not easy, and we, you know, in the material world we have ample examples of that. You know, broken hearts. The whole world is. Yeah.
It's confidential,
Yes. Yes.
and Krishna knows how to keep that confidential. But he wants to share, but have a condition,
Yes.
specific condition,
Correct.
with love,
Right.
pure love.
Yeah. Actually. Uh, yeah. Yeah. That's why the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan are the most confidential, and it's like, you know, whatever we have to some extent, a little bit, some experience. If we know something, if we have a secret, we don't you know, we don't tell our secret to everybody. What is confidential is meant to be confidential.
Because they were speaking wrong words about, because they will misunderstand, and they will say, no, 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 that's Krishna is like a rascal. No, Krishna is not rascal. So we don't share
Yes.
by, because
Yes.
they know they will not understand.
Yeah. 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 Well, that's one of the reasons also, as Prabhupada explains, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would very rarely speak about Krishna, because people cannot understand, would misunderstand and commit offenses, etc., like that. Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
I think that's part of the system, that
Yes.
disclose topics, not just systematically, but systematically choosing who can listen
Yes.
according to their qualities.
Correct. Yes. Yes. um,
So if we have want to know the highest knowledge, is not just we just pay some money and go to the highest institute, but we
yes.
have to qualify ourselves first.
Yes. Yes.
And that's difficult.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nice point.
Some devotees can write some group,
A group.
a group they write
Oh,
devotees.
Prabhu Nityananda is here. Prabhu Nityananda.
No,
Okay. A group of what? Devotees?
Yeah, you see.
Oh, I don't know. Haribol.